And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. I am joined by Free Spirit Press News. Or, wait, it's Free Spirit Prepping News now?
Prepping and news.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still not used to the change. Plus, over here, it shows Free Spirit Press News. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, that kind of screws people up at times. Yeah, I get it.
Plus, I feel like crap, so I'm not all there anyway.
Well, you'll have that. All right, I already shared it to the one place.
Yeah, I've already got my shares out.
Well, I didn't really have this link, so.
Oh, no, you didn't have it until I
Right.
went live.
It's weird. The title of the video is so accurate when you really stop and think about it, and you look at what is going on over in Australia. That is just off the chain. I'm just blown away by how quickly that actually went down, and how quickly so almost no it seems like there was almost no resistance whatsoever. Like, the people are somehow like they don't matter, or nobody cares almost. I mean, my God, it's and to think what might happen if they tried that same crap here. It's rather scary to think of just what that might look like here.
Well, I mean, it's not far from happening here. I mean, keep it all the way real.
Right.
Hey, it's fresh bottle.
Oh my God. That sounds like paradise.
I'm never tried this one. It's the Crown Royal XO.
Oh.
The one that's been put in the cognac kegs.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll torment the people. Since you got your cam on, I'll torment the people, and I'll throw mine on too. It'll just take a minute for it to show up on the tube.
Figured I'd save this for a special occasion.
Yeah. Tonight sounds like a special occasion.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's a day that ends in Y, and it does happen to be Friday. I'm drinking water, and then I'm gonna finish it up with a little bit of aid.
That's actually smooth.
What? The Crown?
Yeah. Tastes good too. Actually, I don't know. I'm not gonna trust my taste buds tonight.
Well, here, if I remember the last time you got into something that was smooth.
Yeah, I got in trouble.
And we were on a live stream. Do you remember that one?
Okay, it's smooth, but it takes a second, then you can feel it. Yeah, that'll get diluted down. It's kind of got like, cause I've never drank cognac, so I don't know what cognac tastes like. But it's kind of got like a banana flavor aftertaste at the end.
Right on the backside.
But speaking of which, though, I mean, for things that lies ahead, might be a good idea to have a little extra stores with liquor laying around. Might not know. They make, especially if you don't drink, they make perfect bartering pieces.
Yep, I have a whole box of those little itty bitty um, shot bottles.
Uh huh. They're cheap.
Yep. Well, they're not as cheap as they were, but
Hey, me and my sister, next time I'm in Angola, or next time I go back to my parents' house, I'm gonna stop at Gay's liquor store. They sell the Crown mini bottles, mini shot bottles with the bags, so you get the mini bags of the Crown. Because these little
oh,
bags come in handy for stuff.
oh yeah.
I've got a regular Crown one in the Suburban, and it's just handy to stuff like change in or miscellaneous stuff. But it's a small one. I've actually want one because I want to turn it into a small medicine bag.
That's what I was thinking.
It's the perfect size. You get the little drawstring. And it's that out of box thinking that people are really going to need to start working on. With what's lying ahead, like Bree was saying, the shit's going on over Europe, Australia. I mean, they're talking about it here. I mean,
California today. Oh my god. But that doesn't surprise me. Actually, I thought it was going to be New York first, to be honest.
New York's already playing their little game. With forcing the teachers out. Then I caught earlier sometime today, New York Supreme Court ruled against the teachers. I don't know if I retweeted that or not. I can't remember. I get kind of loopy today.
There was so much, and I was tied up with trying to switch from a 3-year-old phone to a semi-current phone. And oh my god. Just when you think you have a grasp and a handle on technology, right? We'll put that one right up there with, why not have a entire quart of triple grain or triple blend grain popcorn recipe, and let me know in the morning how that works out for you. You know which recipe I'm talking.
Oh yeah. In spite of joking, I better be careful too because I haven't drank in over a month.
You might be crawling to bed.
But it's a good remedy for when you're sick, so.
Right.
I use that as the excuse.
Every excuse is good for the first time. But in all serious though, I'm seeing shit. People are being more vocal. I've even last year when people were going out of their ever-loving minds for various things, because they thought the end of the world was happening. Well, they weren't far off from it. It was just beginning.
Yeah, that's like I said. We said it. You guys haven't seen nothing yet.
Right.
You haven't.
What I thought was pretty strange. I'm used to going and buying what I call a silo of canned chicken,
Yep.
a 4-pack of canned chicken. Usually runs right around $7.50.
Yep.
There wasn't a single silo of the Walmart brand chicken or the 2-pack chicken.
No, they're hit the
Gone.
The 4-pack's always hit or miss. Every time I see them, I snag at least 2 up because the price you pay for this 2 is almost the same amount you're paying for the 4-pack. I mean, basically, you're getting about 2 cans free when you buy the 4-pack.
Yep.
And it's good chicken.
Yeah, it is. And surprisingly, what was available was Spam. I grabbed 5
Spam. You know those dollar pouches?
Yeah.
That you get like a tuna and Spam and all that?
Yep.
I was cleaning out my camera case and my camera's
dear.
all set up, and I found a thing of Spam. I'm like, and a soup. I'm like, man, my camera case was prepared. Well, it was actually really prepared, but I was been out a few times this year with it, and I keep like 4 soups in there, 2 tunas, a Spam, and something. I can't remember what the other thing was in there. But yes, a Spam and a soup was left. I actually still had a meal left in the bag. Like,
yeah, at $6 for a twin pack of Spam, that is, that's a little bit below. Even with the 2 cans together, that is still below a 3,400 to 3,600 calorie intake per day. But the protein in 1 can is right in that 15 to 20 gram of protein needed per day for one out of 1 can. And it's like, and one lady was like, she goes, "Why are you getting all that Spam?" I'm like, well, let's see. All they have is single cans of chicken, and I'm too damn cheap to buy single cans. And I'm not that destitute to buy single cans. And I don't like the Swanson brand, so I'll leave them behind for somebody who either A, has a family, or B, really needs it and needs to balkanize food quickly. And she's like, what are you trying to do? I'm like, are you not seeing the picture here? There's certain things that are starting to have a problem. And she's like, what? I said, well, usually the first thing to go is electronic goods. Second thing to go is canned meats and foods, soups, things of that nature, that are have already been in short supply. And I give it about another week, and there's going to be another huge run on bottled water and toilet paper and baby wipes.
See, I'm not seeing that in this area, or in my area, or in Ohio, the area I was from there. I think I kind of made that my due diligence this week to check things out. Now, like I said, the other podcast I did, where I'm seeing it at is like Kroger's, Chiefs, the smaller end stores, which basically have become the new mom and pop stores.
Yep.
I mean, they pretty much last year got rid of all the mom and pops stores and restaurants. And
everything's corporate.
But fucking Walmart here and in Bryan, Ohio, Defiance, their shelves are fully stocked. It's the normal. So
yeah, but they also are right near a major district warehouse too.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference. I'm 6 hours, 7 hours from at a minimum from even a substation resupply, and that is not exactly the largest. They handle, I think, 60 stores, and that's it. That's all that they can possibly handle, and it's really a toss up. Now, the other interesting thing that I've been noticing is indoor formulas of cat food, wet and dry, and strangely enough, well, we've known for quite some time that uh, copper tubing is like worth its weight in gold or platinum, something in that higher range. You can't even find rolls of copper tubing right now, and specific forms of yeast and large quantities of sugar.
Well, hell yeah, we don't want fucking people out there fucking brewing, making their own money off fucking hooch.
What I found strange was I was listening to a podcast, and then I went digging about some of the recent governmental um, items that they picked up in over the last 60 days. What would the government be needing over 200,000 foot of copper tubing? Half inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch ID copper tubing, and all the fittings. Why would they be getting all that copper?
Well, I've got a theory behind all this because we're talking about, when you're talking about copper, we're also, you already know the lumber situation. That's affecting our infrastructure in the construction area big time right now. I mean, right now, if you're trying to do any do-it-yourself projects or home improvement, prices are through the roof. I mean, sheets of lumber, plywood, it's almost triple the prices that they were last year.
$92 for half inch CDX. I went, and because I was gonna get a sheet of CDX today, and they wanted $92 for a 4x8 by half. I was like, no, I think I will wait, and if I have to, I will make an attempt at trying to make it.
I need a little bit more money.
But the one thing that I forget who I was watching earlier today, was from a 2015 video, and boxes of nails, like 5-gallon buckets of nails, like 6-penny nails. Get them. Because you can make your own. If you know how to make the jig, you can make your own 2x4s.
Oh yeah.
You can make your own thin veneer wood, up to a half inch. If you have the right type of saw, you can make it. And yeah, you're going to do a lot of sanding on it, but there are options there until the fuel runs out, and then you may have issues. But if you're lucky enough to find an old-fashioned crosscut saw, two-handed crosscut saw, you can still make that thin veneer wood.
Yep.
With the right crosscut saws, And this is what people, I don't think they're thinking about. They're everybody is wanting to try to find these older brace and bit sets. Just find the bits. You can make the brace uh, system. You can make that real easy. That it doesn't. It's not that difficult to make. I forget the name of the bushcrafter that made it. I'll have to shoot you the video. It's like an hour long video, but it was very very well done, and I thought it was very worthwhile content for people that are wanting to learn new things. You know,
Well, yeah, I mean, let's keep it real in this day and age. Up until COVID, the shutdowns and stuff, most people they weren't picking up these old school skills and trades. Most people, shit, I know most young kids don't even know how to change the oil in their car, which is the easiest thing to do, or change a spark plug. Shit, some people can't change a tire. That still blows my mind. I mean, all these little skills and trades. I mean, especially with some of the shit we're going to talk about tonight, it's something you guys should be learning and or should already know. I mean, it falls under these things. Should back in my time, this shit was common sense
yeah,
because you grew up doing it. I mean, I grew up working on my own cars. I grew up helping my dad and grandpa out in the garage all the time. You know, I'm a jack of all trades, literally. There ain't much I can't do. All the way from building a house from the ground up, old school wise, joint and mortise style, or it's not called joint and mortise. Can't remember what they call it. There's actually a technical term how they built the old school houses, where really how we're used to using brackets, nails, and fasteners.
tongue and groove.
Yeah, it's you don't do that. There's a YouTube channel. They built their own house and they did it the old way. Um, what is it called? I can't remember. Damn. Can't remember the name of the channel. I'll look it up and post it. Look in the. But they're an awesome channel. It's just a young couple that decided to say fuck it, and basically get off the grid to a certain point, and decided to build their own house, buy some property, and do it the old way. I mean, yeah, they use some modern stuff, but as far as the construction of the house went, the framing wise, timber framing.
They use pegging.
Yep, the old pegging system, notching, cutting, and that house is gonna be around probably for their kids, grandkids' lives. I mean, I don't, at least the framing wise. And I'm not so sure about how they did the outside. They did the mold, like the foam mold shit.
Yep.
But still, I mean, what the little they put into it, and they bought truck semi loads of timber. They milled their own wood, and with the leftovers that they had, they made money off it by milling it and selling it back to the lumber company or selling it to people, their friends. So they actually end up making. He figured it out. He was making, if he'd spend a day milling, he'd make about $1,000 to $3,000 off what he milled off that lumber that
Wow.
day. I mean, but yeah, they were young. I didn't know nothing about it. They researched. They found people that would sponsor them. Like the mill they got it. I mean, it was over a $10,000 mill. It was nice, but they basically got it gifted to them. Hey, well, sponsor us while you're making these videos and using it. There's shit I've got out there like that. You just got to do your digging and research. You know what I mean?
You know,
Honestly, like we were talking about earlier, and we're not going to get off that subject. It's kind of what it's about, what lays ahead. This is pretty much what you guys already should know. If
what
you
was
don't, I suggest you start, you know, going to YouTube, finding these channels. There's a bunch out there. Learning trades and skills, learning how to make simple stuff. The simple stuff makes the complex stuff look easier to do as you learn. I mean, I've never knocked YouTube other than for the censorship bullshit and crap that they pull all the time. They're pulling once more, nuking channels. But it's still a rich source of resource. You want to learn something, I don't care what it is, and I literally mean I don't care what it is. And that's why YouTube better never ever fuck with me. Because they're hypocritical asses. I got their number. I've
here?
got I've got private links to shit that's on here. That, oh, we don't support that. Oh, really? Okay. Don't fuck with me.
All right, I'm going to. Oh, I guess I'm gonna
See,
tweet it
I'm
before.
one of those type of people. I don't judge people by whatever their aspects are. I am all over the internet. I'm in places where most of you won't go. Why? Because it's important. Why? Because, well, I'm happy with who I am. I don't care what other people think. Yes, I've got backup channel. I got a backup channel to Sons and Daughters of Liberty over on Pornhub. Yes, see, it's just another tool. It's another niche that I can sit there and spread my message that actually people enjoy over there. Funny enough, I would have never, nope, I wasn't the first one that came up with that idea. There was a few other ones, and they're actually in the gun community.
Yeah,
And then I got to thinking, I was talking to a guy, I'm like, you're actually right. And they're getting killing it over there. And they're not doing porn. There's no nudity, no nothing over there, but they're using that platform for what it's for. Streaming. We're not streaming. You can't stream there. You can upload though. And but most people, oh no, you need to get off your fucking high horses. In this
the
time of age, time of day, the shit that's happening all over the fucking world, that's starting to happen here. You don't got time to have morality and being on your high horse and judging other people by where they're at, what they believe. They're fucking free people. And that's the major problem. Our freedoms are the things that are at stake right now. If people knew where I fucking went fucking this summer for a vacation, oh, they would trip. But the connections I made, people that I found out in that certain niche, it's like I would have never guessed it. But
oh yeah,
that's what happens to closed-minded individuals. They judge people by the book, by their cover, not by actually sitting there taking time to get to know people. So what? They fucking do this for their living. But look at them. They're not complaining. They're making their money. They're getting by. But yet they believe in the same freedoms we do. They want the same things we do. And that's how we've gotten to this point. Is through all the division. I've preached on that subject till I've been blue in the face. Well, guess what? Because of all your judgmental ideas and brainwashing, this is how we got to this point.
and,
Allowing the people in power divide us to the point where they can just come in and strip us bare, take everything away from us. We're not far from what's happening in Europe, what's happening in Australia. happening right here, and it's already started. We have an administration that's violated the Constitution in every which way. They've taken the Constitution, crumpled it up. They didn't even bother wiping their ass with it. They just threw it in the fire and said, "Fuck you."
Well, here's where I have an issue with big tech. And this goes for every single one of these motherfuckers out here. And I don't have to name them. They all know who the fuck they are, and I really don't care. They know who I am. By now, I'm quite sure of. They need to stay in their own motherfucking lane. And realize that at some point they're going to push, and they're going to push, and at some point there's going to be pushback, and they're probably not gonna like that pushback. That's that video I was telling you about. That is a badass video.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen most of his videos and Corporal Croner's videos that he works with.
He's a bad man.
David Canterbury.
Yeah, he's a bad
Dave
man.
Canterbury.
Some of the basic things that
Pure Living is the name of that YouTube channel.
Yep. Some of the things that he spoke of in that video, I was like, holy frog fuck, Batman. Like all kinds of little light bulbs went off and really gets you thinking. But it also made me stop and think that at some point, when is big tech going to figure out that the people are the reason why they got to where they're at? And the people are just simply going to have enough. And I shudder to even think of what those ramifications could actually look like.
I mean, those ramifications. I don't know. Honestly, because I've got a whole different perspective on things, just from other things. You understand some of it. Rob knows it better. I've told him, Well,
you attempted to go out on your own and create something new and interesting and something that was more consistent with the very foundations of what this republic was based upon.
Right.
And I don't know how many times a week I wished I had a penny for every time I had to remind somebody that this is not a democracy. This is a fucking republic. You need to wake up and then take your ass back to school and relearn history and civics, because this is a motherfucking republic. This ain't a democracy. We never were a democracy. And in 21, we ain't starting a democracy now. It's just the way it is. You want some, come get some. That's kind of the way it is. I'm at a point now where, I've kept my mouth shut for far too long. And I took the gloves off And I put the nice leather gloves right where they're supposed to be, and they're definitely not on my hand.
I took the gloves off the day I created this channel.
Well,
Actually, the gloves were off well before then, but I decided, you know what? It's time to start talking about these things that nobody wants to talk to or talk about, or too damn scared because they're scared of what other people will think. I don't care what people think. Never have. I learned that lesson back in fucking middle school. Fuck what people think. You'll be better for it. I'm my own person. If I'm happy doing what I'm doing, then that's all that matters.
so I think we've already established that we ain't everybody's cup of fucking tea.
I'm definitely not everybody's cup of tea.
Even if it's got cognac in it. But it people need to toughen up.
People need to grow a fucking backbone. Period.
Well, I seen a
Quit acting like a little bunch of fucking baby cupcakes. Get their feelings hurt every time somebody opens their mouth.
I seen this chick, and she's about, I'd say, between 20 and 23. That it had feelings over freedom, and I was like, lady, yeah, kind of got that just a little bit backwards. Not sure where you got that shirt, but without freedom, you don't have the right to express your feelings. So you might want to redo that shirt or use that shirt for a fucking oil rag or something, because that shirt is ass backwards. Without freedoms, you have no personal rights to your own feelings. Get it through your head. And she's like, no, my feelings trump your rights. And I'm like, I would suggest you get in your little frou-frou car that's got 3 hamsters under the hood and leave.
But that's the problem. That goes back to the fucking broken systems that we fucking talk about until we're blue in the face too. We've got courts out there that got judges sitting on fucking benches, riding their fucking high horse dildo, doing what their politician tells them to do, and violating their very oath that they take to be a fucking judge by making certain rulings to where, oh, you hurt this person's feelings, we can punish you. No, you cannot. A person has a right to say what they want. You have a right to get pissed off, get mad, not agree with it, but in fact, you have the right to even lash out and say something nasty back. But you don't have the right to take somebody to court over it, and I think you're going to win. No judge in their right mind should ever grant you that ability, because it's not theirs to grant. The Constitution clearly says and states that you have the freedom of speech and expression. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. But, we got corporations, conglomerates, corrupt politicians, corrupt fucking Supreme Court justices, corrupt judges, corrupt cops. We got corruption in every facet of everyday life. Guess what? That ain't nothing new. Every time a government forms, you get that. Power breeds corruption.
Well,
It
what's
is
in?
up to the individuals, hence the little fucking, I like my little fucking posters for fucking the shows and stuff. You know, a government that doesn't fear its people becomes tyrannical, and they don't fear us. They think they have their fucking boots on the back of our necks, and that we're gonna bow down like submissive bitches to every women thing. It's not gonna happen.
Do
Not
I have
here.
a boot on the back of my neck? I don't think so.
If you're dumb enough to put your boot in the back of my neck, you're not gonna have happy. You know, that's why this shit happened over in Australia. It's happening now because they let them get away with it. We let our country get away with what they pulled last year.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know,
think that's gonna fly again.
no, you notice there has been no talks
There was initial talk.
about
Um,
shutting things down again because they learned their lessons. It didn't work. But you still have the corporations, you know, Menards that hates vets. I thought, well, you remember, me and my dad he was going to get a toilet. Oh man, I was irate. But I tell you what, I got 30 people to drop their shit in line and walk out.
it,
All because they said there's these guys. I mean, you got this manager had to be the dumbest person I've ever met. You got
yeah,
these people wearing fucking, patriotic shirts, hats, all in line, and you tell them that your constitutional rights don't apply. We can do what we want, and we don't have to service you, which they are technically right. They don't have to service me. And I told them, well, then I'm not going to shop here. You're unpatriotic. You don't give veterans discounts. And the fact that you sat here and just said that my constitutional rights don't apply is outrageous. And the fact that you can't make me commit a federal crime. Which, technically, I could probably sue them over it.
and what's so hilarious is Menards, the co-founders of Menards, were both World War vets. And the next heirs to that were Korean War veterans. Um, so, and I believe a couple of their top execs were Vietnam War vets before they retired out. So there, within that family, they have a lot of people who have a lot of skin in the game and have served in some of the bloodiest shitholes on earth.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you can have all that. They're just the figureheads. In the end, this is how business works, guys. Just because you own the company, that don't mean jack shit. Because you have a board of representatives underneath you that has 5 to 10 people on it, all with major shares in that company holdings. They can overrule you at any time. That's how, the goodest intentions ends up looking like Menards, a place where I will never shop, never I'll tell anybody, go to Lowe's. Lowe's even has veteran parking, guys.
Yeah, they do.
So does Myers. You know, the fact that they said that pissed me off so bad. The fact that, where I lived in Ohio, I'm only a mile away from a big Menards factory. And let me tell you how they play the game. They'll hire people through the staffing mart, and a week before they get to where they would have to hire them in, they fire them. Why? Because they get extra money for hiring through the staffing agency. You get paid less through the staffing agency than you would if you actually walk through the door. They hire very few people through the door because it's a revolving door, and they don't have to pay their insurance. Sorry, I will not work at a place like that. Yes, I work at a factory that does use staffing, but I tell you what, if you're a good worker, they hire you in. If you're just lazy, well, as soon as your staffing contract ends, you're gone. But now we're to the point, and we've reached this point, that getting good workers, it's kind of hard right now because nobody wants to work. And the good workers, they're pretty much all still at their jobs. But you got this void. So, everybody's trying to get people. Putting billboards up, putting signs. Nobody wants to work. Yeah, I get it. I've never said once said that COVID wasn't real. It's part of the SARS. We've had, you took it back to what, the mid 90s, late 80s?
There's some, I've had 3 people bring very valid proof that takes it back to 45. From my research, I can prove that it was here as far back as 65. But when I look at the evidence that was handed to me and the arguments that was handed to me, that goes back into the 50s and as far back as 45, there's some suggestion that it very well could have been incubating and cooking somewhere in the 40s, without a doubt.
Well, yeah, I mean, most of these fucking.
But as far as what I know about SARS, the definition of SARS is an acute respiratory illness and or distress, is the very antithesis of the SARS virus. So there's been several, if you really wanted to get analytical about it, you could probably take it as far back as the plague of 1917, 18. We know what was going on during Woodstock. Another major pandemic was going on. Was shit closed? No. There was enough other stuff going on in the world, literally, that they knew that if they tried to shut things down, our men and women in Southeast Asia were going to end up being hurt even worse than what they already got raped in the end anyways. So why add insult to injury?
I mean, but it also goes to people that understand the fucking tactics of warfare. I mean, it's been every war throughout history. One of it's called poison in the well. tactic. It's, you know, you introduce a pathogen. You introduce smallpox by giving the natives blankets and other things. You flood the borders with refugees and migrants. Every time that happens, you know, I guess most people don't never really travel outside their states, let alone to other countries. You know, you get back. You got to get shots and boosters and shit when you travel. And yeah, usually you probably end up sick if you're there for a lengthy period of time within the first month because your immune system's not used to that climate, that their pathogens that are there, and you end up getting sick. It's just your body creating an immune system, creating a defense against the environment you put yourself in. You know, I was talking to a guy at work. He was out for almost 2 weeks. He said for COVID. He actually caught it because his stepdaughter, I think he said, or daughter, and his wife, they went to the fair, and well, his daughter and his wife caught COVID, so he caught it, but he already had it. And I guess the nurse and doctor said, well, yeah, well, it shouldn't be that bad for you this time, and you actually get over it pretty quicker because your body's already went through it and you've already had it. Because he's like me, we don't. Most people I know are unvaccinated, and with the unvaccinated seem to catch it, seem to bounce back quicker because, as the nurse practitioner told him, you already got your body's already built up an immune system. Your immune system's already built up antibodies to fight it. You know, our bodies, like our minds, is a beautiful thing. You know, it's already, if you had it, you've already, you know, and that's what kills me. You know, before, you know, they said, oh, once you had it, you know, you can't get it again, or once you take the shot, you can't get it again. But nobody's talking about the goddamn flu. I haven't heard a single person say flu. You know, I think some of you see me look at my phone. Well, I pulled up the weather app, it's on my phone. Right under, you know, the hourly forecast is the COVID-19 in whatever state you're in. And they get lists of new cases, new deaths as of, this one's as of 21/9/30 of yesterday. Well, I noticed something interesting yesterday when I looked. In Ohio, it was around about the same number too, around 3,000 mark for new cases. But earlier in the week, when I had checked the weather, it was up like 7,000. And all of a sudden, you know, 4,000. You know, that's nothing new because we've seen the CDC correct the fucking lying ass fucking entertainment media all the time. All the numbers are skyrocketing, and the COVID comes out. With COVID, people are getting infected. It's the unvaccinated. Tell you what, most people I know that's caught it so far, the majority has been the vaccinated ones. They caught it easier than the ones not vaccinated. I mean, I've been around plenty of people that's had it. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, and
You know,
that's
like I was
been
telling you earlier, you know, I can't get by on 2/3 pay. Not even a little bit. I see my check. The one thing that saved me from really being screwed. Well, I'm still screwed. I'm not going to be able to make me. I got a couple bills due next week, but I ain't going to be able to pay because I don't have that check. I mean, I still live. I mean, I don't make that good of money, but I make enough that I get by. I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. Well, all this shit happens in the middle of I moved, wrong time, which is usually when it happens. Shit likes to happen when you're definitely not really prepared for it. Because I cleaned out my savings, getting the apartment and this and that, and but I'm happy. Can't take that away from me. I'm still happy.
and that's
I'm
you know
financially hurting right now, and it didn't help. That's why my dad, you know, wondered why I got real pissy with him. I'm the only one working in the family.
You know,
I
and,
can't
and
afford to, really miss work. Am I going to do it? Yeah, your family. I'm going to bitch. I'm going to catch an attitude because I can't afford to be off work. It was like technically last night I probably should have went home from work. I can't afford it. I can't make my bills with 2/3 of a check. And that is a lot of people's situation. And what happens? They force themselves to go to work. And the result is other people catch it. And yeah, I mean, it's every workplace I've seen, every place I know. That COVID's running rampant once again through the workplaces. It's going to happen. It's just the natural course of things. But who do you blame? Can you tell a person, well, you can't come to work, you need to quarantine, but we're going to give you 2/3 pay? Well, that don't make the bills. I get it. Yeah, common sense to say yes. You don't, in order to stop it, you need to stay away. But at the same time, we're forced in that situation to where prices are skyrocketing. And fuck, last weekend, oh my god, you know, I'm still working in Ohio, so that's a 2-hour commute for me now, and that's a quarter of a tank one way. And here where I'm at now, price of gas was like almost 230. I mean, it came down some, but there's still places 290. Or I mean, 330, 319, and it's like, ouch. I mean,
it's 309 here.
I gassed up today at a Love's in Ohio, right before Indiana, at 299. Then as you got to Angola, it was 304, 305. By the time you got closer to the end interstate, it was back to 319. So, it's like people can't afford it. I mean, prices at the grocery store on food, all of us up. It never comes down.
No, it's
It's designed that way though. It's designed to make you have to work. It's control. They control you because you can't afford to miss work. So therefore, they want you to go in. Truthfully, of all the money they wanted to fucking dish out, they should have made sure every company could pay their workers full for being off. It's such a pandemic, you know, and that's on the government. That's not on the factories. That's on our state government, our federal government, to put those provisions there so the factory can afford to pay their employees while they're off full time. Not 2/3 pay, because nobody in this day and age can make it on 2/3 pay. And there's some places don't even give them that. So I consider myself blessed that I even got 2/3 pay, considering I didn't have COVID, but I had to quarantine because I was around somebody. You know,
yeah, and that I think that was probably the worst fucking thing was um being, even though I would say the last 5 days, 4.5, 5 days, I was not symptomatic. Staying home, not being around anybody, not going anywhere, um, was probably the hardest part of this whole bullshit. And one of my good friends, who is fully jabbed, um, she's had it now twice in 4 months. What happened to this? I mean, there's so many ways I could say this, but here I am. I've never went and did it. I had it once. On this one, um, and I I I feel pretty good with my odds, and believing that it's like chickenpox. And my phone's getting lit up again. um, it's one of our old associates, if you know what I mean. One of the good ones.
Ah,
Starts with an A.
oh, I haven't seen him in a while.
Oh yeah, when you posted that you were looking for somebody to come lurk with, um, I was on the phone with him.
Ah,
Uh, but this is my honest belief is I don't think we've honestly seen anything, and with their telegraphing and saying all the number of times that now all these other world leaders are chiming in, dark winter,
yeah.
and all these uh space people suggesting that something it very well could come out of from a X class type event that could create a something far worse than the Carrington, and that the the internet of things, if you get the meaning of that, um, could be down for months, if not a year or more. Um, when they start throwing these types of comments around out there, um, and they do it enough, that's like dangling uh, a carrot, a potato, and a nice roast right in front of your face, just daring you to uh, grab that shit and throw it in the crock pot. How many times you gonna throw that shit in my face before um, that truth becomes a reality? It is my question. Um, I'm to say that I'm not. Am I worried? No. Concerned? Yes.
Well, I mean, kind of getting back to topic, people should actually be worried, and that's why I was worried about when I seen all these nurses getting fired and stuff. Seeing what's been happening in our military, forcing the vaccines. There's a purpose behind it. I kind of touched on it a little bit here and there in the previous podcast.
Yeah, that was well done. Well done. And for those that missed the last installment of Rambling of the Chaotic Mind, um, after this one is over, and I that one should be one of those you might want to watch and then maybe put it in a save folder and on a mobile device or something and go back and watch it again down the road, because that one there's a whole lot of truth there. And unfortunately I didn't come in till the last 5 minutes of it, but
yeah, it was one of my shorter ones. Well, not one of my short. It was short for my normal.
It's 2 hours and 11 minutes. But it was very well done. The questions, very, very well answered. My honest belief is that, I guess maybe because of the places that I've been, the things that I've been through, um, it would take something pretty, like you'd almost have to tell me that um, Yellowstone is going to blow, um, because I'm within the that fallout radius.
Everybody is.
I'm within the uh 750. Uh, I'm within the immediate blast radius.
There's
Literally,
actually on YouTube a very good movie about that. That's fairly accurate. And by the way, Yellowstone would have any of the super volcanoes would ever go up. That's a dark winter for real
it is
because
what
it affects the globe. No
I,
one's safe.
I look at those as uh an EOL type event.
Oh yeah,
No amount of, even if you have a missile silo, um, and you're able to go under, and you have every provision possible, that you need for a decade. Um, can you go a decade without, uh, you know,
well,
could you theoretically go,
well,
because
it's
it's
gonna be
good,
longer than that.
it,
We actually got history too. Kind of. I mean, well, first off, Mother Nature's a bitch, and she always wins.
but
But we got history to back this up. You got to go longer than a decade. Chernobyl's the perfect example of anything that we want to talk about. That if it was on a larger scale, let's look how long it's taken Chernobyl. Chernobyl's finally now where animal life's kind of getting back to normal.
animal
Radiation's
life
getting,
has,
radiation's getting going back down. You know, things are thriving now and around the Chernobyl. Yes, it's still highly radioactive. You can't stay there very long, but Mother Nature's finally healing itself. But how many years has that been? How many decades has that been?
Chernobyl, it's been almost 30 years, but
Exactly.
they were, I was watching Josh Gates with his weekly show. I forget which one it was. Uh, Expedition Unknown.
Yeah, it was one of the. Well, he's been there with Destination Truth too.
Right, but it was Expedition that he was there, and it was eight. He was there 8 years ago, and then he was there just 3 years ago, and people have came back into the zone within the last decade, clearly within the last decade, and things are in some aspects. I mean, yeah, it's still creepy as hell, but in a lot of ways, from looking at Chernobyl before and versus today, an argument could be waged that it actually looks, at least on the surface level, it actually looks better today than it did before that thing went boom.
Well, yeah, but it goes back to say, throughout history, since the beginning of this, every civilization's come to an end either by Mother Nature. Hey, Mister.
Hey, what the hell's going on here? It is riffraff. What the hell's going on? Well, we were just talking about EOL, like super volcano versus Chernobyl. And what the difference is between a Chernobyl type event and how long would a person have to go underground, stay underground if a super volcano anywhere in the world was to cut loose. And I'm thinking somewhere between 10 and 15.
Not even close. You're talking scientifically with Chernobyl. They were talking about the 100 years range before, which we've seen that now through studies and stuff. Now, it's been like you said, about 30 years, and it's still hot, but the radiation levels are down and a lot. And there's a huge zone around there, but now the zone, where it's actually hot to where definitely going to need radiation suits, is you can go in the interior quite a ways now. And now people actually go in there without the radioactive stuff. But that's 30 years. You're talking about at least 3 to 4 generations. If you have to go underground for something like that, you're talking about 3 or 4 generations.
And what I thought was interesting is they actually pulled out one of the Wells catfish in there.
What?
And oh my God, that thing was, it was freaky. I mean, it had teeth like a pike, which a Wells doesn't have them.
No, it's a catfish.
But this thing had teeth like a walleye or a northern pike would on a catfish. And I'm like,
well, that's the other thing though. Now, yes, you still have some of the mutations in the animals, but a lot of the regular animals have come back. It's history, guys. Throughout history, Mother Nature has wiped out the whole fucking every civilization. Either we wipe ourselves out or Mother Nature finishes us off. You can go extinct the dinosaurs, everything. But everything comes back anew. If you want to know your history, start digging. It's under your feet.
But it was
a pandemic that we're kind of in, and I don't want to get off topic. The pandemic that we're in and what lies ahead, because we're talking about what's in the past. I want to get to what lies ahead.
Yeah.
But to get there, you also got to know your past. You got to know your history. A pandemic is a global event. So, super volcano, yeah, good point. Chernobyl, great point. The fall of every empire, even better point. Because
246 years.
That's, we're still in our infancy, but most don't last a fraction of that.
All 4 Roman empires, 246 to 248 years. In that realm. I actually looked it up.
Yeah, and we are a republic, and a lot of our facets and imagery is based off Rome.
Yep.
Every aspect of our democracy, clear down to our Senate, is based off the Roman philosophy and ideas. Because it was, in theory and in practice in the beginning, a system of government that, gave freedoms, but much like the rich and the power, they don't want to give it up. They don't want to share it. Hence why we call it a caste system, because it never changes. We just call it a new name. We call it a republic. We call it a democracy. We call it fucking socialism. Whatever title you want to give your government. Smileyism, if I want to create my own government, fuck it, who cares? It's still based off a caste system. You got to have, because everybody needs somebody to follow. It seems like we have to have leaders. We can't be completely free thinkers. I've actually published. I broke down the origins of the word heathen, heretic, and pagan, because it's not what people think it is today. They think, oh, that's Satanists, devil worshippers, witches. No. When it was broken down, taken all the way back to its origin, when it was created by the Catholic Church, Rome, the Catholic Church, let me rephrase, it was to put an end to the free thinkers. Because in the end, heathen, heretic, pagan means free thinkers, common folk. Those who free think have their own opinions, own views, and that's what they wanted to stop. We don't want you to be independent thinkers, free thinkers. Because if you are, you're going to question things. You can't question those who have power because that shakes the foundation of power. They believe when they're in power, this is what our forefathers understood and why they wrote the Constitution the way they did, why they put laws and legislations the way they did, that they would never have to be oppressed again because our founding fathers were descendants of the persecutions that were happening in Europe, where they, burning people at the stake, call them heathen heretics. But yet, as our nation grew, we repeated those same fucking atrocities during the Salem witch trials. Oh, it's a heathen, it's a heretic. Why? Because they had an opinion that went against their community, or they didn't like the person. See, division. That's all we need. We can create division, we split things up. That's how we've gotten to this point. What lies ahead, and this is what before we got off topic, what I see New York doing and talks of other places that I've been hearing popping up, bringing in the National Guard, hence the push for the vaccine, the military, because they know the true patriots and stuff that have opinions that no, and some will follow orders, most do. But it's the way to weed out the ones that are going to be rebels, the ones that are going to stand up, the patriots. Get them out, get new people in, the new breed that's been brainwashed that, oh, you hurt my feelings. Then you got these people that will comply to every order, not question, because they're brainwashed, have no mind of their own, no identity, and they're going to do what they're said. What we're seeing in Australia, the stepping stones are happening right here. What's happening in New York, we all should be paying attention to how the National Guard reacts when they're put in that place. We've seen, the camps thrown up, never got used. In fact, I drive by Angola, coming to where I live, and they've got, back behind the hospital, there's a park area. They've got it full of tents for vaccine. It's hardly anybody ever there, but it looks like a concentration camp, internment camp. Guys, that's coming.
Yeah, I've heard lots and lots of chatter out on the East Coast about that.
That's the biggest propaganda of the haves and have-nots, or the vaxxed and unvaxxed. That's why they keep pushing this division, keep slamming it down our faces every fucking time you turn on CNN or any of the other fucking news channels. Every time Biden opens his fucking cocksuckers, she needs to put a cock in there and shut the fuck up. It's all about vaccines. I'm going to be a public figure and let you see me get a booster shot. That's why he's pushing every workplace with over 100 people, which is most every workplace that's, part of our infrastructure, our factories. They're going to slow it all the way down. Forcing, okay, if you don't comply, you can't work. If you can't work, you can't eat. What's next? Well, let's make sure all of our first responders are all vaccinated. Let's get rid of the ones that's going to oppose it. Or, like many have done, put their resignation in. Okay, who takes their place? Well, let's see. Who takes their place? Oh, the ones with the very ideology that says you're evil because you refuse to get the shot. You're a danger to society. What do we do to people that are a danger to the society? That's right. We lock them up and throw away the fucking key. We label them as domestic terrorists. So yes, what lies ahead is very fucking scary. Something you guys, everybody should start talking about. Won't be the first time we've had internment camps here on U.S. soil.
Nope. No, and that's that goes along with the green zone uh talks. I mean, there's uh or what's known as safe zones. Um, and it was Mr. A. Link is in your iMaps. I sent it to you in iMaps. Just click on the link in iMaps.
What links you want?
I think he's gonna come join us.
About that chat. Well, it depends which link he wants. Phone link or computer link. I can do either or.
I don't have the phone link. All I have is the web link. There's the one for the mines, Mr. A.
Yeah, I've got a dial-in link, embed link, and a copy link. Rob's actually got it. Rob programmed to put because the number never changes. So Rob's actually on his phone. He's got the actual phone number right in, so he can call in.
Oh wow! On that note,
that's what I like about the gatherings. Even though right now I'm pissed off because I can't share screens and I got to show my ugly mug.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Which you can share screens.
I haven't tried that yet.
At least I was able to on yours. But you know, guys, what lies ahead? It's actually quite scary. It's kind of actually some of my worst fucking nightmares. Because I've had dreams of this and visions of this, and it's like, no, that'll never happen. You think about it, and that'll never happen here. We never allow that. But yet I see us allowing it. I see how things can get ugly, scary, real fast because of people's mindsets. When you strike fear and people start getting scared, when you start censoring people that are doctors, are nurses, you know, I wish some of these people would actually, when they say this stuff, allow you to wouldn't be scared to, but actually say it while you record them or video them, because I've had many doctors and nurses say, you know, your body's immune system has a better defense than the vax. You're actually gonna get over it quicker. You're gonna be less apt to catching it because you've already got immune system. Yes, it's, you know, like the flu, it changes every year to year. SARS has been like that. I mean, since 2000 I've kept up with it because it's been in your face. Every couple of years there's a new form of SARS, and come to find out COVID is part of SARS. It's, you know, and we've had plenty of, I'd say, credible doctors say it's not going anywhere. Basically, COVID has become the new flu. Where they failed with the flu, couldn't get everybody the vaccine, they found a way to do it through a pandemic. Now we're going to force it. Now we're going to make it. And if those that keep refusing, we're going to keep pushing. We're going to push until everybody gives in. Or enough people give in that it's easy to fucking fix the rest. You know, how many times are you going to allow yourselves to be lied to over this? How many times are you going to sit there? Oh, you need this. It'll keep you from catching. Oh, wait. When, you know, at first they didn't want to report it, but people knew because it was happening. People were catching it after the first shots. No, that's not happening. Oh, okay. You need a second shot. So now you got to be double tapped. We call that fully vaccinated now. Oh, wait. That's not working. You need a booster. When does the lies stop? When does people start realizing you're being manipulated and controlled? Is it when they start putting these fences up? Oh, wait, we seen that this year. They put fences up around the place where they never should have. Never in our fucking history has our Congress been blocked off from the people. Yes, we've had military march on it, but we never threw up fences keeping the people out because that's our fucking house. That's ours, not the politicians that sit in there that we elect in there. We have the right to sit in that fucking rotunda and watch them hold sessions. They were never, ever supposed to ever do anything behind closed doors. It was supposed to always be right there in that rotunda in front of the public. Our founders built that, set it up that way so the people always knew they were the ones in control. Not the fucking politicians. Not the corporate sector that are paying the politicians. There's even provisions there that are keeping a president from becoming a tyrant. You know, and I actually got a question to relevant to the topic, but what happens if Smoke'em Joe decides to smoke Roe v. Wade, as I've heard he's thinking about doing this week? A decision that was upheld by the Supreme Court. So therefore, the Supreme Court actually is above the president when it comes to our constitutional matters. What happens if he tries and actually does say Roe v. versus Wade is no more? If that happens, if he does that, that makes him a dictator, tyrant, and a defunct president.
Hey,
Congress
Drew.
never impeach him. Yes.
Did you see what he just said on the mines? Or when you go to click on the link? He said, I put the link in there and it wouldn't go.
All right. Is he still on YouTube?
Yeah, he's still in the chat.
Try that link.
Oh.
If not, I got a dial-in number. So I'm just going to fucking paste that in.
Wonder why I didn't have that link. Oh, okay. I see. I see why. Yeah, that works, Mr. A. I just clicked on it. It does work.
There's also a dial-in number. I'll open this up. Not like anybody's watching.
But there's so much that so many people they don't stop and think about these things like the fence around, and they went when they put it up the second time, they went even bigger than the first, and they extended the perimeter out. And it's not going to go away anytime soon. Where'd my audio go? I lost audio. Weird.
No, I muted myself.
Oh.
I don't think anybody wanted to hear me go through a coughing fit.
Oh, Mr. A should be popping in here anytime shortly here now.
You know that's my issues. The writing's been on the wall, hence the video writing on the wall. It's all been there in front of your guys' faces, but they're controlling everybody through fear. It's psychological warfare, and they're doing it in such a way that it is scary because we're at that point where you can't go to the store. They already did the trial runs. They know it works. Menards, classic example. You don't wear a mask, you can't come in here. I actually got over on Walmart because I told them, I thought I'll sue you. After the Menards incident, I wasn't playing. You can't make me wear a mask. It violates federal law. Why? I'm an ex-felon. So therefore, I fall under the Patriot Act as a domestic terrorist because I was incarcerated during 9/11. And anybody that's ever caught if you spent any time in jail, whether it be the county, you're considered a domestic terrorist. So therefore, if you conceal your identity, your face in any which way, you committed a federal crime. And they don't have to charge you right this instant.
No, they don't.
And that don't go away because of the pandemic.
No, and I wonder how many people are going to get hung out on that down the road.
Because these stores like Walmart, they all got cameras. They all fucking biometrics. That's why they push biometrics for facial recognition. My computer has it. My cell phone has it. It's turned off, which on the computer, that was kind of hard because I actually had to go through the back door into the system and reprogram it to get it off. It was worse than a virus. YouTube's little bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I found that in the settings. You can't turn it off. It's enabled. I don't know how. I never did it. But it's in the settings. It's enabled.
I still haven't got my Jitsu to YouTube stuff figured out yet.
Yeah, and that's coming from YouTube's end because I was able to do a live stream from your channel, from this channel, or from over on YouTube to your channel. Not a problem. Fuck, you couldn't even do one for my channel.
No.
So that's YouTube fucking around.
Yeah, because I've said too much. They don't like it.
Wow, I say a lot. Of course, I know one of these days
you'll go to log in and you won't be there.
Then we'll pay it still.
But people need to seriously wake up, quit smelling the grass, and I'm not talking about the grass that I have growing in the flower pot back there. They need to put the grass down, and they need to wake up and smell the roses to what's really going on. And for all those people that are extreme coffee lovers, keep your eye on Brazil, one of the largest coffee importers into the United States, bar none of any nation of the world. Something is about to come down the pike.
Hello, Mr. Ed.
Hey,
Long time
Mr.
no see and hear.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Audio's good?
You're fine. You're loud and proud.
No, I wouldn't say that.
But
no, not loud and plowed. Or, you know what I mean?
I'm working on the plowed part.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't went back to the score yet, so
You might after this one
no.
and after the
Have you
game.
been watching it? Have you been watching it? You know how it is. Or,
I've been popping back and forth around the corner.
so it's after halftime, so it started again.
Um,
How's it going?
I took my head out there. I looked. I hung my head, and I came back in here.
And you got it knocked off.
I ducked before.
Oh, okay, all right.
But you know, this is what's beautiful about having a three-way here. We have age and knowledge.
That was an earlier discussion.
We have
Hey, I
slightly
ain't that old.
I'm pushing 50, and you're not far behind me, Drew. So
I still got several years before the 50 mark.
50. My God, that's old.
you're not that far behind me, Drew. You're only 7-8 years behind me.
That's a long ways off.
Well, think about it now, because in that vein, while you can, because
No. The score's still good. The score's still good. It's still good.
It's gonna sneak up on you and it's gonna kick you right in the nuts.
That
What
happened at 38.
the score or the age?
The age.
Oh, okay. Because they're still hanging in here. They're hanging in here. So whatever. I'll put that over there. But you guys got some fine topics going on right now. But I don't know what I got to add or subtract from what you all have been saying.
Shit, you always got something to say.
All right.
I never
got
get
something
to
but,
hear you hardly at all.
Throw something at me. It's just, I think right now, within the next 3 years, our country is going to fail or we're going to succeed.
I agree.
Okay? That's it.
Yep.
I get about 3 years. Okay. Now, never before has our country been in such peril as this time right now. Now, I would take you back to the beginning of, the beginning of the end, we'll say, of the Depression. Okay, the Depression, and there was some fine leadership by FDR that got some trivial projects, kind of like Democrats do nowadays, but got some projects going to get people employed and working right first, even though it was just like a dam and everything. But it got our economy moving. Okay, now here's the problem right now. The problem right now, we've got just hundreds and hundreds of container ships off of San Diego Harbor, Long Beach, and about twice that many in China. So we're looking at some very precarious times here in the next few months. But what I don't understand is the Chinese. I don't understand the Chinese. Why are they building up a great big navy?
All right. Let me interject something there.
Go ahead then.
Something that came across late this afternoon. The National Trade Commission that came out and said that at the end of in 2020 and in 2021, China was supposed to export $200 billion in goods from this country, and they have not. They failed to spend that money on American products and goods, and now they're going to vote on Monday as to whether or not they're going to impose sanctions. My question would be, why would they want to do that when China owns 7 of the 12 largest food processing companies in the United States?
Excellent point.
Well, it's not to mention all the farmland that they've been buying out.
Well, and that's another excellent point. I'm just saying, I don't understand why they are, what's the word, banging the drum or what have you, the war drum, or just, like posturing, building. Their navy is now bigger than ours, and ours is pretty damn big. But why? Why are they doing this? Okay, what purpose would it serve for China to go to war with the United States? What purpose would it serve? I mean, surely, right off the bat, we would shut them down. We might even go out and sink all the container ships. Of course, it'd all be our shit. But
well, here's the problem. We have a total of 190. We're up to 192 ships as of today, from the West Coast all the way down, and then the ships that are sitting in the Gulf of Mexico waiting for offload. And the excuse, and I've had 2 posts now that have been labeled as false information that I posted on Facebook, and stating that, these ships aren't being banned from entering into the U.S. Well, if there's no skilled labor at the docks to offload these vessels, well, then, yeah, you are, and you're paying these skilled laborers to stay home. So, yeah, you are keeping them from returning to work.
Which is an interesting situation, isn't it? I mean, they could employ every single one of them right now.
Oh,
on both sides of the ocean, they're backlogged with container ships sitting out there. Some of them have been sitting out there for a long time now.
A year. A year.
Well, I don't know the time, so I wasn't going to say it, but I'll tell you this much. If anybody's going to go Christmas shopping, you better do it right now. Right now.
Yeah, because this is going to be triple the price it is right now.
That's what I'm saying. This is going to be different, people. If you care to, actually entertain what we're talking about here, supply and demand. If you don't have the supply, then the demand goes up. And guess what else goes up? Well, the price does. I mean, this is a very precarious situation. But again, I don't understand why China is posturing, building ships, and hell, they just built a second aircraft carrier. Ooh, they got a second one now. They have to they have to put a ramp on the end of it because they can't even get it to go off the end of the ship.
And let's not, and to springboard off that, then you also have North Korea, who just took possession of a dozen Chinese destroyer class ships, and the one above the starts with an A.
The one above what that starts with an A?
There you have your destroyer class ships, and then there's another. Well, yeah, that'd be the Russian equivalent of a destroyer, but there's another one that starts with an A, and my mind is, I'll kick myself in the ass later for it.
I hope so. Are you talking about the littoral ships?
No. No, it's another war class ship.
Then it's your amphibious aircraft carriers.
No, it's not your amphibious.
For fuck's sake.
I'm
Come
gonna
on
have to look it up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to just, this is just is a terrible embarrassment for you.
Yeah, it is. Naval ship classes.
I know naval ship classes.
Uh,
So I don't, I mean, you're throwing stuff at me.
It's slightly. You have your
What do you got?
warships, your destroyers, and then you have your Arleigh Burkes. Destroyers.
You got frigates in between there, though, right? Various, you've got your Ticonderoga class.
Yep, that's
missile
your
cruisers.
Yep.
Got your Arleigh Burke destroyers, and they've come out with the brand new destroyer class, the Littoral class, and who knows how that's going to work. But what is your point?
They're.
What's your point, though? I mean,
what
is you trying to say?
With North Korea taking a dozen Arleigh Burke class ships from China, that's kind of a dual threat right there. And this was done without the world's knowledge.
It's actually worse than a dual threat if you think about it.
Right?
Because let's keep it real. America's popularity right now ain't the greatest. We got a basically fucking communist fucking Chinese president sitting in the fucking office
forever. Whenever whenever. Same thing with Russia, right? Just they just stand there. However long they want to stay, they'll stay there, right?
Yeah.
We look weak right now, Drew. That's your point. We look weak right now.
Under Trump? No, we didn't look weak.
Not under Trump.
I'm even going to go back to fucking Obama. We didn't look weak under him because he bombed the shit out of you.
Be careful what you wish for when you say Obama.
That'll never happen. I'm not worried about that.
Be careful what you wish for there with that one. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. A, you and I, we've had this discussion. I'm not at liberty to go into detail about that, but be careful what you wish for on that one.
But under Biden, no, fuck, he did something we haven't done in fucking decades.
What's that? Open up the border? Just like, hey, everybody, come on in.
Everybody does that. That keeps
politics
going.
That was in the toilet in the New York subway 2 weeks ago. Everybody knew that shit.
I'm talking about the very first month he was in office. Open it up. Bring your kids over. Just bring them on over. Come on over. We'll take care of you.
We had politicians going over there.
We'll pay your welfare. We'll pay your Medicaid.
Yeah. We give you a free ride for fucking as long as you vote for us.
Sure. And I'm not being
you're
prejudiced.
not even a citizen.
Listen to me.
Vote.
I've worked with Hispanics. They're some of the hardest working people there is on this planet. Okay?
Yeah.
What? Here's the problem. These new people coming over got boatloads and just shitloads, just thousands in boats and everything. The Haitians, okay, that's a different class. The Mexicans, they want to come over here and work. That's fine. Let's do it the right way, though. Let's get them qualified. Let's get them matriculatized. I can't remember that word. I'm sorry. But let's do it right. Do it right. Why can't we do it right? So that they can swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States.
Which is, why they should be coming over here anyway. That's part of the whole American dream spiel.
Yes. The great American melting pot is what we were supposed to be. Well, that's fine. But you've got to swear allegiance to this country.
Even in the fucking 50s, you had to go to fucking Staten Island.
Yeah.
And you had to fucking wait before you could even step on U.S. soil. Well, you swear on U.S. soil, but You're kind of more like a jail, if anything, in my personal
Yeah,
opinion.
Ellis Island was, yeah, pretty much a jail. I've actually been to Ellis Island. They tried to remove a lot of the bars and that as much as they could, but there were a few buildings that they actually couldn't.
Which is interesting though, because some of that reason behind that was not allowing them straight in because they had to pass a medical background. It had nothing to do with citizenship or any of that. First part was medical, so they wouldn't be bringing in diseases to cause pandemics.
Mm-hmm.
And
do we have pandemics there? Do we have that?
well, you get that every time you flood the border.
Right.
That's like number one warfare strategy.
And then you got like Delta variant number 5 or something. I'm just appalled at what's happening at the border. But listen to me, don't misunderstand me. I've worked with Hispanics. They are the hardest workers that I've seen now, and they're working towards their citizenship, and God bless them. God bless them. We need them. Because everywhere you go, you see help wanted posters. But I'm just saying, do it right. Do it right.
There's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things.
Yes, register.
And any politician that goes over there and tell them, come over here, we'll give you a free ride and free pass. No, that politician should be immediately brought up.
That already happened with the vice president, by the way.
Yeah, she was one of them. So was no, I'm not going there.
Yeah,
I'm not going on that. Yeah, I'm not going on that rant.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I've got a ball gag specifically for her. She can shut her mouth.
She does. Oh, jeez. You know, it's just.
But you know,
the biggest problem that I see right now, you guys and those of the listeners, is that we appear weak.
Yes.
Weak. Okay.
Actually, I think right now, fucking Australia's got more backbone than people here.
Perhaps.
At least they're standing up and starting to fight back.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's fine. But I'm just saying we appear weak. Ever since January 6th, countries around the world are no longer looking at the United States as the big superpower of all the world and blah, 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 right?
Right. No, well, why would you when you cave into terrorists?
Not anymore. And then after Afghanistan and that great bit, be careful.
Oh, I can't wait.
No, I've got to calm down a moment.
I can't wait to get my t-shirt for that one.
I remember. I'm old enough. Damn it. I'm old enough to remember refugees jumping on the skids of Huey helicopters in 1975 Saigon at the embassy. Okay,
I'm not old enough to remember that.
Yeah,
I'm old enough to remember the videos of that.
That was nothing compared to having hundreds try and hang on to a C-17 Globemaster as it's launching. It was the most terrible experience I think I've witnessed that America has participated in, perhaps in my lifetime. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed about it. Okay, because they didn't have a plan. Well, apparently there was a plan. Well, they didn't follow the plan. They shut down the one major military airport that could have accommodated any of Afghanistan, whether they worked for us or them or whatever, they wanted to get out, we could have come. No, we abandoned that airport and we used the main airport there in downtown, and it ended up getting bombed. And it's just, I am appalled. I'm ashamed. And, I want some accountability. I think the Joint Chiefs ought to resign.
Oh, I agree.
Due to incompetence.
Court martial.
Well, I don't know about court martial.
Oh, I do.
We just hear me out. Secretary of State, yeah, Secretary of Defense, SecDef, resign.
You know what's sad?
Get the fuck out of here.
You
We
guys
don't
gotta-
need people like you in there that are going to botch. Do you remember hundreds of people trying to hang on to that C-17 Globemaster as it's taking off? They're so desperate to get out of this terrible country. Right?
And
I'll
you know,
never forget that. And okay, all right, I'll stop.
you know what's funny is it's not funny. It's actually very tragic. I have over my shoulder, I have a lot of my father's things, and several of the photos that I have, even though my father was not a chopper pilot, he was actually a medic. I have several photos, like hundreds of photos of the people hanging on to choppers, as well as cargo transport planes leaving Vietnam.
Is that right?
Yes. People trying to stand in front of the planes as they're going down the runway in Vietnam.
Dear God.
How do you stop a something the size of a C5 Galaxy?
No, you don't. But
You know, I mean, this is reality of when, you know, I spent a lot of time over there, and sadly, none of the interpreters that I worked with from any of the villages made it out. They were abandoned, just like the over 400 Americans that are still there.
okay, all right, and was that necessary?
No,
it was not necessary. We had a plan in place. Clear back when Trump was in there, he decided, okay, we're done with Afghanistan. I agree with them. We're done. It's like you're either going to take care of your own nation, or you're going to, you're going to reap the rewards of not taking care of your own nation. But it was a systematic and slow drawdown of troops, but closing off that main I'm talking about the main military airport. What was it called? Damn it.
Bagram.
Yeah, Bahram. Isn't that the proper?
Yeah, Bahram.
Bahram.
Yeah.
Okay. Massive military. They left it. They abandoned it. Okay, but they should have stayed there and held that piece of property until they got everybody out of there.
$17 trillion to build Bagram Air Force Base.
And we just left it to them. And a whole bunch of other equipment and everything. I understand we disabled the equipment, the real sensitive equipment like helicopters and that. I understand we disabled that equipment so it couldn't be used, but it's just a slap in the face for the veterans, for the many thousands of Americans that went over there and for a period of 20 years gave a country freedom. And that is all that's coming out of this that's good. For a period of 20 years, we gave a country a freedom. It's like they're young, very young teenagers right now. They're being forced to put on the burqas and the big, robe things, and they can't do anything at all. It's just, that's what freedom is about. But the fact of the matter is, we must understand, we can blame ourselves all we want, but the fact of the matter is, remember, the Afghan army had approximately 300,000 troops that was supposedly ready for action, ready to take on the Taliban, and they failed. They failed. I don't know why they failed. I don't know.
I can tell you why.
Well, you can tell me why, whatever. You've got them outnumbered damn near 3-4 to 1. Why do you want to just give up your freedom? Your daughter's freedom. Your daughter's been going to school and learning. Well, now she's not going to. Okay. All right. So I don't know. I don't know why that they just folded so easily. That was a surprise, and I think it was a surprise to the intelligence departments as well. That's it.
No, it wasn't to me. And that had to do with the military leadership over there, and the fact that the entire world put too much faith in a culture that has been fighting for over 30,000 years, 40,000 years. No modern army has ever been able to stand against the Taliban. Some of the most
or something thereof, like whatever. What's that movie? What's that movie? Is it a bunch of red British
Mummy.
guys and everything?
Mummy was one with Brandon Fraser.
It's like what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Let these people alone.
Right.
Let them govern themselves.
That's been our problem. We don't mind our own business. We want to be the human. Well, we're that beacon of hope, so we live up to it. So we want to be the humanitarians. We want to help these countries achieve what we have. Unfortunately, that puts a big black eye on things and puts a big bullseye on us because dictators don't want that.
Well, the Afghanistan thing is a whole big bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Afghanistan didn't have a whole hell of a lot to do with 9/11. I'm sorry, I'm just going to lay that out there.
That's the truth.
That was every one of the hijackers was from Saudi Arabia. Now, so why didn't we invade Saudi Arabia? Can somebody tell me that? Why?
Too much oil money.
Well, not just the oil.
Oil money? There were no Afghan hijackers at all. So why are we inviting? Why are we invading Afghanistan? Is what I call. I'm sorry, Afghanistan. Tell me why? Why?
Because several Al Qaeda / ISIS, i.e., Boogeyman of the Week, went throughout the Middle East into many different countries over there, and some president made the bold statement that wherever you go, wherever you try to hide, there's no place on earth. We won't find you. You will not be safe nowhere. We will hunt you down. We will eradicate you.
Yep.
Of course. Especially when we trained them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we trained Osama bin Laden to fight against the Soviet Union in their war.
Yep.
So
people need to bomb and kill his dog after he had no use.
Take it, dude. Take it.
But yeah, that's the key point. Half these people that we end up fighting, we created them.
Yeah.
In Bree's point, but he made that great speech. Then what did he go do? Oh, I'm going to finish what Daddy started. Let's take out Saddam while we have the fucking cocksucker cornered in a cave.
Okay. All right.
All right. I'm going to throw.
All right. What about Iraq, though? Okay. Who provided Iraq with weapons of mass destruction? Can I get who did that?
That was Reagan, wasn't it?
No, it was Donald. It was Donald Rumsfeld.
Oh yeah.
During the Iraq and Iran war, we supplied Iraq with weapons of mass destruction. I'm talking chemical weapons.
Yep. Then what do? We come along and eradicate the one we created.
Oh my God!
All right.
Isn't that pathetic?
All right, history time.
Well, we're on
Time.
history
We
time.
are on history.
All
Recent
right.
history, actually.
All right. So you since we've been tripping around the globe here, what country has the US came in, successfully liberated after a period of time, left, and the government that we helped prop
Great
up.
Britain.
Great Britain was there long before we were there, long before, centuries before we actually broke away from the crown. What country that still stands today that we went in and actually invaded and helped reshape the face of the government that is still in power today? Name one country that is still a free society in this world that the U.S. came in and ran roughshod, was there for an extended period of time, and then left, and that government still stands that we helped put in place. I'll wait.
Greenland.
Greenland had help from Norway.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
can name a state.
I just thought I'd throw that right out at you.
I can name
You
a
know,
state
'cause
that
no,
we
whatever.
did that for. Remember the Alamo?
No. Yeah, the Alamo is a big clusterfuck that is all untrue. So yeah.
I said a country, not a state.
Yeah, well,
At the time, it was a country. It was Mexico.
Well, yeah,
country.
true.
No, yeah,
Well,
Actually,
true.
Spain.
yeah. So I don't know. I forgot your question, but it sounded like you were on a roll. But I lost it.
I can on recent history. I can only think of two, and one don't count because we dropped the fucking H bomb on it, and the other was North or South Korea. But I don't think we really occupied that.
Yeah, we occupy South Korea, and they're in a they're still under a democracy, not a republic. They went
but
the socialist.
you know what though? They're doing okay. They're doing okay, actually.
They're actually doing great compared to most countries.
They're about the only. They're about the only one that has survived, and the only reason why they still survive is because guess what? We're still fucking there. That war ended in 1964.
Okay.
Wait,
okay.
now actually, technically, that war never ended.
No, you got a point there because we're still fucking there.
Yeah.
That's the only war to date that still never has.
Yes,
it's
not even a war. I mean, it's not. No, he didn't. No, it's still very much an undecided situation. A armistice is the word I think they're using.
I mean, I don't actually get something. I just thought of something. Back to your naval big fleet of China. The first step for China, if China ever does anything, it's not going to be against us, but it will be to a point.
No, it will be. It's
Taiwan.
because it's Taiwan. Okay, you know why it's Taiwan?
Well, it's the biggest tech center of the world.
Exactly.
All your cryptocurrencies that people are into, most of it's coming right out of fucking Taiwan.
But it's the chips.
Yep.
Their computer chips now have exceeded, like Intel, everybody. Anybody that ever invented a chip, what have you, Taiwan now has the superior product, so to speak. Now, that is why China is wanting Taiwan. And I just really, really hope they don't do something stupid.
China, it's all bad. I mean, if they get Taiwan, it's all bad for the world.
Well, That's what I'm saying. They will out tech everyone else, and it's a bad situation. But I don't know how that happened. I didn't even know that was the case until recently. But Taiwan has the best. There's a company, I'm not going to mention their name, liability, you know.
Yeah.
But the Taiwan company that I'm referring to is the world's best producers of microchips. Just the tiny little microchips and everything. And you know what? I guarantee you that's why China is interested in Taiwan. It's not the property. It's not.
No.
No, it's not. They want those chips. They get
No.
those chips, and they're going to be able to out technology us
Well, they
and
get all
anyone
those
else.
chips. They
You know,
control they control the world in a
everything,
sense.
everything. Yeah.
Like as it stands, the top when it comes to scientific research, health, cybernetics, and technology in general, the two powerhouses to this very day is Taiwan at the top, and right a fraction under them is Japan. And the next target on China's little doorstep, as they run their little gauntlet through South Korea, will be Japan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then it will be us, because right now we are weak because we got a president that just gave in to the fucking Taliban, negotiated with terrorists. Oh, they see that as the
Weakness.
It goes back to North Korea getting those warships. Well, of course they're going to get them. I bet you they didn't pay much for them because they're China's ally. We don't got Trump around anymore to put the little fat man in check, or his sister.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to.
And I'm no fan of Trump either.
No.
But the one thing he did, he was so dangerously unpredictable.
I love that.
They just didn't make any moves while he was in there. So I don't know.
I honestly, personally, don't think he would ever fucking lived up to a threat. But he's so unpredictable, you can't make that counter statement.
Correct. Yeah,
and that's
correct. That's the way it is right now.
And like I said, he did things I didn't agree with. But I tell you what, I thought we got this discussion in the previous podcast the other night about how do you rig an election system? Well, let's get everybody to send in mail-in ballots that we're not going to read. Why? Because they're not part of the electoral college unless it's a close vote. Then we'll read a fraction of them to get a number. Mail-in ballots is a joke. The vote don't count unless it's a close election. People, that's what I tell people. You got to know your laws. You got to know your Constitution. You got to know what the Supreme Court does. You got to know what your state does. And you got to pay attention. I mean, that's why I said it's so scary what's happening in New York right now. It's so scary that's happening in every state because Biden went to OSHA. Fuck OSHA. But it's the loophole. OSHA has that power. And, well, it goes back to who controls OSHA. Nobody. OSHA self-regulates itself. They were given that power. So why not use the biggest loophole in the whole system to force people, well, if you don't get vaccinated, you can't work. I've talked to a few criminal lawyers, defense lawyers about that subject, and it's their arguments, it's like, damn. I never pegged Smoking Joe to be so fucking smart. But then again, he's a businessman. He owns his own companies. So he knows every fucking loophole. It's a corrupt system. Unfortunately, the people that pay for it is the everyday citizen, the ones that go to work.
Drew, I'm sorry to interrupt, Drew. I'm way under 10% battery, and I'm kind of, out of gas anyway. But I hope I've contributed a little bit
Yes, you
to
did.
your
Yeah,
discussion.
and it's 11 o'clock.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock already. Holy balls.
Wow. I don't think balls are that holy, unless they're Jesus's ones. Anyway, yeah, sorry about that. I'm going to
that with a 10-foot pole.
I'm going to remember that one.
Okay, I'm going to get struck down about any moment now. I better take cover.
You have a great night, Mr. A.
Yeah, I need to
Join us again.
Yeah,
it's nice to hear you again, talk to you because it's been a while.
Well,
everybody knows me.
My mouth, and the
Your
dental
mouth
stuff. I had a bad dental thing.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
God, yeah, we don't want to talk about that now.
I went through that myself.
Barely begin to talk today and everything, but we've covered some good ground here. But I'm going to check out. Okay, you guys.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us.
All right.
I
We'll see you
always
later.
love listening to you.
All right. See you later now.
Later.
Bye-bye.
All right. Catch you later, brother. Man, we covered a lot of ground. Holy bucket of ball sack.
Oh, yeah.
God, how long?
I don't know. I'm not on the where it actually tells me how long I've been on for a while.
Mine says 2.5.
We chatted for about 10-15 minutes. So yeah, we're a little past the 2 mark.
I mean, there's so much within this, just within this one stream. The food, that's another one that people are really need to. And the other, I guess, one final thing that I'd like to bring up is when I went out to Cabela's today. Yeah, I mean, I know Christmas time is right around the corner, but do you ever remember seeing people buying tents at this time of the year?
Well, yeah, I'm buying all. I try to get at this time of the year. I always jump on the camping section and the end of summer section because that's when everything's on sale and at its cheapest.
Cabela's, there really isn't. Right now, the prices are only down like maybe $10, $12 at most. It's not that big of a drop.
Well, yeah, that's because because prices have skyrocketed so much on everything. You don't notice the drop. You don't. I mean, fuck. Like I said, I watched in 1 week. I went to the grocery store. The following week, the very same items that I'll get that next week, had tripled in price. It's like, what the fuck? And it hasn't stopped.
No, I mean, when you see a family carrying out 2 multi-room tents and a dozen sleeping bags, and they're not carrying out the lightweight tent stakes. They're carrying the real heavy duty long term type tent stakes that you would use characteristic in a bug out situation. Camo netting to go over the tents. This isn't stuff you normally see at.
Well, this time of the year, I see camo netting going out quick.
Yeah, but
getting close to hunt season.
Yeah, but in conjunction, camo netting the same size as the tents. That's a little you generally don't. First of all, you rarely ever find it in that mass of a quantity. You're lucky to find it in a 8x8. these were like 20 by 20 square. These were huge, and they weren't cheap. They're like,
well, no, it's Cabela's. Nothing's cheap there.
some stuff actually isn't that bad, yet. But I mean, it was just the point. And these sleeping bags that they were buying, they had the Arctic, they had the Three Seasons bag, and Sub-Zero bags. So what does that tell you when you see families getting a dozen bags like in those orders? What does that tell you? People are waking up to the fact that their existence in a city or in a small town, which is what I'm in, population density fucking matters. And they're not going to get caught with their pants down. And I didn't follow them all the way through the checkout lane because, quite frankly, I didn't want to know what the cost of all that was going to be. I'm envisioning several $1,000s for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Probably $2,000 just in sleeping bags alone. Just the bags. But you know, these are all things that I highly doubt we are going to see on the shelf in a month or two.
Well, some of that's seasonal, so no, you're not going to see it,
but it'll still be available to get online. The fact is, though, there won't be any in stock. They will be out of stock for an indefinite period of time.
I don't know, shit like that don't register with me.
What I thought was rather funny or off was when I went to look for a collapsible saw, unavailable until April of next year was the soonest. A folding Sierra saw out till April of next year. And this wasn't a fancy saw either. It was just a titanium blade. That was the only thing that stood it apart from anything else. But white gas? Nope. None on the shelf. Can't get it. Three different computer or places to order a computer part for my van.
Oh, I already said that. Give it up for trying to get all the parts.
3 places before I finally found one.
And you're still probably going to have to wait 3 to 4 weeks to get it.
Nope. Wednesday.
You got lucky.
I actually believe that it was luck, and headlights is another big one.
But anything dealing with automotive, even spark plugs, it's. I mean, even trying to find shit at the junkyard right now, and you're going to pay the price for it. The prices at the junkyard went up. It's it goes back to Taiwan, the chip shortage and shit. I mean, it's affected everything. But how did we get to that point?
We laid off. You actually talked about it in your last live stream. You touched on it about the steel mills.
Oh yeah, but no, I mean it's beyond that. How did we get to that point? It falls back to fucking legislation that's been passed at state levels and in our government at the federal level. You know, they want by what 2025 half the half the produced vehicles be electric.
Yep.
So we've gotten to that state point in the time where you know our big corporations, Ford, Chevy, or Chrysler, they need to say, okay, we need to change things up, but they're being regulated and pushed to go that route because we need to cut emissions down. We need fuel saving energy. We got climate control, which is a bunch of fucking joke. Climate change. Oh my god. But they push it. They force these regulations, registrations. So now we're in a situation where the supply can't meet the demand because of the regulations forcing them to make these vehicles with all these chips and electronics to cater to the regulations that have been imposed on them. So now we stand where we're at today on that. It's like I said, the topic of the night, all these things have brought us to this point. So if we don't start making the changes, we don't start waking up, these businesses, these corporations don't start growing backbones and say, no, we can't do that right now. So we're going back to making regular cars that people can afford. By doing that, brings people back to the jobs, starts opening up plants. Because right now, even next year's cars, you could buy it right now and you might not get it till the following year because of the chip shortage.
And that's if you're lucky.
Yeah. I know somebody right now that is waiting for the factory to replace their 2000 Silverado that had a defect with a 2001, and they were supposed to get it at the beginning of the year. Nope, got pushed to the middle of June. Nope. Now they're talking, we're not going to be able to get you the 2001 until sometime in the middle of next year. And it's like, but the thing is, nobody's talking about these things either. It's like, okay, we got a chip shortage. Okay, why do we have a chip shortage? Well, Mr. A brought up a good point. Then, but we have regulations and laws being passed every day that's causing these things. We got a government that is becoming so tyrannical that they're not stopping in their attempt to oppress everyone. We've reached that point. It's either comply or pay the ultimate price. Either we're going to force you. And if that don't work, what's next? Well, I can tell you right now what will be next. They'll start rounding people up, treating you like criminals because you are a danger to society. You're a threat. You're unvaccinated. And we're going to lock you up. I know. I know the naysayers out there. That'll never happen. Well, let me ask you this. How many times have you said that'll never happen and we're at that point now where that's just happening? When are you going to stop fucking living in fucking fantasy land and actually fucking see the writing on the wall, what's in front of your very eyes that you're trying to fucking ignore? But it gets got to that point where people need to start speaking their fucking mind. Doctors, nurses out there, you need to start coming out. Fuck the mainstream media. Use your tools. Start educating people about the vaccine, about not being vaccinated, how it's affecting people. Do not let the fucking mainstream media control the narrative because their narrative is exactly what they're being told to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Never changes, never has. It's been like that since the creation of it. It's the propaganda. It's always is. That's why they label themselves entertainment, because we don't tell you the news. We tell you what we're told to tell you by the people we support. It's their narrative. It's their way, or it's the fucking highway. In this case, it's not even going to be the highway anymore
Nope.
because you are a threat. What we see happening in Australia, what we've been seeing happening over in France and Europe, what's been happening in Germany that they're trying to keep a close lid on. People are starting to wake up. Italy. I can name these countries where all this shit's happening. But to you guys, it's not happening because you don't see it on your everyday news that you choose to watch. You can't step outside your box and search for that information or make new friends in other countries and hear what's their point of view, what they're seeing, what's happening. Communication is important. We have to communicate. We have to be social. And that's coming from an anti-socialist. I hate being social. I like my own space. But yet I get outside my box and find a way to be social. I make new friends. I talk about things. I don't share everything I talk about. Some things aren't meant to be shared. You guys need to learn that one too. You know? And as you guys can see, even with my move, I've kind of been hush about it. Real hush, because not even my friends really know. Other than what I've let slip here and there. Yeah, the writing's on the wall. I see it. I've been known it. Tell you what, I've learned not to pay attention. What happens when you don't pay attention? The hard way? I will not repeat that process ever again. I see something, and it was one of those triggers for me. It's like, oh, yep, nope. I'm making my moves. I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing at this moment. Are you? Are you actually thinking about running these scenarios? Run the scenarios. Look back the last 10 years, how things have gotten to this point. Oddly enough, I titled this video What Lies Ahead, but we've talked about what's gotten us to this point more than we have what lies ahead. Well, maybe it's time we stop talking about it and start doing something about it. You want fear? Think about what it'd be like to be rounded up because you're not vaccinated. Go ask the old Jews that are still around from World War II. There's not many. The ones that got the fucking number tattooed on their arms.
I actually saw one.
Sit down and have a conversation with them.
I was in a semi large city in Waterloo. Well, there, I was in the Waterloo area, and I went into one of the large gas stations near. Well, it's actually more of a truck stop than anything, and I seen the numbers on the tattoo, and I was like, man, that's an old batch of ink. And she looked down, or she looked at me, and she tried to push her arm down. I was like, it's okay. I know what those numbers are. And I respect you. And she was like, she felt almost like a lesser.
Well, yeah.
I think, and I said, you're welcome here. And I says, I don't mean you no harm. And the look in her face was quite astounding.
You know, that's I actually going to close this up because the old lady just messaged.
Yeah, I gotta get.
But I don't want to close this up on this very topic right now because it's actually I want to prove a point that should never need to be proven, especially on this topic. But the push to deny the Holocaust ever happened. You know why that was so important to destroy that part of history? Because there's not many of the Holocaust survivors left. Just
No.
like there's not much of our World War II veterans left. If we can destroy that part of history, we can repeat it. And that was why they pushed to say the Holocaust never happened, never existed. Because now we can get to that point and we've sowed those seeds of discord, deceit, lies, where younger generations, a lot of them will sit there and tell you the Holocaust never happened. The Boston Tea Party never fucking happened. Now I remember what that argument with that 10-year-old was. Because they were taught in school. It never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was Common Core. That's why they're stripping these parts of history out. They don't want you to realize your power, your strength. We are not fucking weak. But the world's starting to see us as weak. Many of us are seeing us as weak because we see people caving in to what's illegal, what's unconstitutional, rolling over and just complying. We cannot do that anymore, or the next step will be people being rounded up like it happened during World War II, the concentration camps, or during here in the United States, putting the Japanese in internment camps. History does repeat itself.
And it's about to again.
Think about that. That's all I got to say for tonight. I want to spend some time with the old lady. She's deployed. So,
All righty. Y'all take care. Be safe. God bless. Take care of one another. Y'all know the drill. You know where to find me. I might actually roll my happy ass out of bed in the morning and go to the range now that I got a phone that I can actually do something with. Y'all take care till we meet again on the next one. Maybe on mine. Y'all take care. I'm out. Y'all know how to get a hold of me. Links are in on my bio on Free Spirit Prepping and News.
as far as me, I'm everywhere. If you know where to look, you seek, you'll find. Shout out to Mr. Anderson. Thank you for joining. It was nice hearing from you again. It's been a long time. And
Right.
I got 3-day weekend. So there might be another podcast where this weekend's over. Anybody wants to join in? I want to continue the conversation of the night over next few videos. All right, I'm going to continue the topics of the last 3 videos. Let's put it that way.
That
So
works.
whether it's here on this channel or over on Bree's channel, I'll try to behave. But
Gloves are off. Gloves are off.
other than that, you guys enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Think about what things have been said. But in the end, enjoy your life. Because it's kind of looking glim and bleak right now for a lot of things. And those of us, that choose to delve into these topics and walk the trench,
There's a lot of trench to walk.
it's not a pretty sight. So, oh yeah, one more thing. I want to give a shout out, because I forgot the last video, to Melissa Trees. Thank you for the awesome conversation the other night in the podcast, the interaction.
I'd like to get her on.
I've never, like I said, that was the first time I've ever, but it worked. I love it. My chat's always open. I do pay attention and respond because that's how we learn from each other. It's that interaction.
Right.
That's what they try to stop us from doing: socializing and interacting, having open debates, open topics that we can freely discuss, whether we agree or disagree. Me and Bree disagree a lot, but we still have the conversations. We still give each other room to talk and voice those opinions and views. And at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide what you take from it. With that, you have a good night. I'm out of here. I need to
Yep.
talk to the old lady.
Alrighty, I'm out too. Good night, everybody. Kick it.